a very, very telling football day. As you've probably heard and very much suspected, if you watch a lot of sports, whether it's football or basketball or whatever, you know that when you see an athlete get hurt on a non-contact injury where his knee just goes and he's in space and he goes and he can't get up, that usually is a major, major destructive knee injury, almost 98 to 100% of the time. It usually is an ACL injury, and that is the case as the word has come down now that the Jets will play the remainder of the season without the best defensive player in football, and it will be a devastating blow to that defense. Revis is the best defensive player in the league, and again, you might want to argue about somebody else. It might be an argument between Revis and Pierre-Paul. You might throw in a couple other guys, but let's be honest, there's no corner that even remotely plays the level that Revis plays at. In a league where there is very poor pass defense, he plays on a sensational level each and every week. And now this is what, this is why, folks, this is why athletes, especially very talented ones, worry about contracts and worry about future and worry about it because they are always one step away from being on their back for a year and being out of the game. And now Revis will begin an arduous rehabilitation and will have to deal and hear for a year about whether he can come back and be the same player that he is now. And that is a question that we will find out by performance. And it'll be a lot of painstaking, hard work, a lot of lonely hours in the gym, a lot of lonely hours rehabbing, and there is a very long, painful, tough road ahead for him. And there's no way around it. I mean, you just got to do the work and absorb the pain because there's both. But the bottom line is he will do that supported by his group, but he will do that very much by himself. And the Jets will do what teams have to do, and that is move on from devastating injury. An injury to your quarterback, especially when you have a dominant one, ruins the season. It is hard to calculate exactly how much the Jets can compensate for the loss of Revis. They will not be the same defense. Rex cannot play the same way. He cannot blitz the same way. He does not have the luxury of having one man take away the other team's best receiver where he never, ever has to double the other team's best guy. That is a luxury that no other coach in the league has had. It is an enormous luxury. It is one the Jets don't have anymore. So this is, any way you slice it, a devastating blow. Does anyone care? No. Do the opponents care? They don't. Can anyone feel sorry for themselves? No. It's the way the league is. Injuries are part of this game. We've seen it. We've seen other teams lose their best player in the first game of the year. We saw the Jets lose Vinny Testaverde when they thought they were going to the Super Bowl in the second quarter of the first game and have their season completely torn apart. It happens all the time in this league. And everyone moves on and says, when's the next game? But you do that knowing that you will not be the same. So we all suspected it from the moment it happened. It looked like absolutely was what it was. I mean, it reminded me exactly what we saw with Shumpert. You see it all the time. It's devastating. There's no rhyme or reason for it. The knee is a very, very tricky, very tricky thing. And now the Jets have to move on. Now, as far as yesterday, they win a game, play bad, win. No excuses, no complaints. Move on. You never knock anybody, at least I don't, for winning in this league. This league is so wacky now. And it is so up and down week to week. Yesterday's decisions in a lot of places, perfect examples of that, where teams just didn't show up or got their lunch handed to them in surprising places. I mean, right now you have a league where the Pats are 1-2, where the Steelers are 1-2, where the Saints are 0-3. So you get this day in and day out in this league. So if you're 2-1 and, you got a break or 2 breaks or 3 breaks, you take them and you tip your hat and move on. That's it. The Jets didn't play well yesterday. We know that. Dolphins did a lot of things you didn't expect them to do on the Jets. And the Jets got a lot of breaks and missed field goals and lucky timeout, and we can go on and on and on. But the bottom line is the Jets are 2-1 and the Pats are 1-2. But the Jets now have had a part taken out of them that is going to be very difficult to compensate for. But as we said, Niners are coming in this week off a loss. They'll be angry, and they don't care that Revis is gone. The Pats don't care that Revis is gone. Nobody cares in the league that Revis is gone. And the Jets, unfortunately, have to move on. They have no other alternative. Not easy. Very, very difficult. But there's nothing you can do. I mean, that's what this league's about. We see it all the time. The thing that happens in the NFL is you can be out of it before September's over. Let's be honest. The Saints are done. They are not going to have a season. Now, they might turn around sometime in this season and have a 4-game winning streak. But they're not going anywhere this year. They're going to Green Bay this week. They are a disaster, and they're not going anywhere. You can lose your season in September. And the Jets have to hope that doesn't happen to them in the next couple of weeks. They have to just rally the troops and go to work.